Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for the Tour de France 2024, coming up in just a couple weeks here. And we're going to be previewing the first 11 stages, and then next week we'll be doing the next 10 stages. Stage 1, in Italy, from Florence to Rimini, 205K to start off with 3,483 meters of climbing and 7 categorized climbs, 3 Category 2s, 4 Category 3s, and a heck of a way to start the Tour de France with a very difficult hill stage. The riders are going to come out of that and then head down to the coast, to Rimini, where they will finish up down on the beach. Again, a really tough stage. One more mountain here, Titano, and then down they go the last, I guess, 25K to the beach, all downhill. Stage 2, Cesenatico to Bologna, 199 kilometers, 1,598 meters of climbing, over 6 climbs, but these are mostly 3s and 1 4. So I mean, they're a bit steep, but not really anything like the first stage. So there is this one climb though near the end where they have a couple of ramps that are up at 9%. So a little bit difficult there as they come into Bologna, and they have to do this loop twice up and around this hill. So I think that's what really adds to the complexity there. All right, so moving on to stage 3, Piacenza to Torino, starting to get up into the north and west of Italy, 230K, one of the longest stages, only about 1,000 meters of climbing. Definitely going to be a day for the sprinters. The Tour de France this year is starting in Italy and avoiding Paris completely. First time that the Tour de France will not end in Paris in 119 years because of the Summer Olympics that are being held at that time. So stage 3 here, just getting folks up to Torino. So stage 4 finally gets us across the border from Italy and into France. It's Pinerolo to Valois. It's 140K and over 3,000 meters of climbing again, with 2 Category 2 climbs and our first HC category, the highest category of climb. And that's a real doozy. It's the Col de Galibier. It's 23 kilometers long, averaging over 5%, with 2 really big ramps near the end at 9% each. So another truly tough day, getting up to 2,600 meters above sea level. All right, so real quick here on how I put the video together. Started off with the Tour de France homepage, letour.fr. There is an English version, of course, for that, and much of the information that you need is on there. Then there's a great site called cyclingstage.com that has the GPX files for all of the stages with their lengths, type of stage. But of course the GPX files come without timestamps. So moving along, there's this website called gotoes.org, and it's a great site for adding timestamps to GPX files. So basically I put in an average speed of 40 kilometers an hour, 25 miles an hour. On the time trial, I think I put in 50 kilometers an hour, which is like 31 miles per hour. And this then generates new GPX files with time data in it, which allows me to move over to the Relive website, load those GPX files up into Relive, and create those 3D flybys of the individual stages. So 4 parts to it. All of these 4 sites will be linked below. I have no affiliations with them, just love using them. So that's just a quick word on how I put this all together. All right, we're moving on to stage 5 now, from Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne to Saint-Fulbert. It's 177 kilometers with only 849 meters of climbing. After some pretty hefty days of climbing in the first 4, we're going to see the GC guys get a little bit of a break. There are 2 Category 4 bumps along the way, but nothing significant. And it's basically a long downhill stage. So I'm expecting a lot of fireworks at the end with a mass sprint, and we're going to see green jersey contenders have their way. All right, stage 6, Macon to Dijon. So wine country, mustard country, 163 kilometers, so about 100 miles, 622 meters of elevation gain, which is about 2,000 feet. And as you can see from the profile, almost completely flat, just one tiny little Cat 4 climb of about a mile in length, 1.6K, right at the beginning. So basically we've got back-to-back days for the sprinters as we move up here into eastern central France and wine country. All right, stage 7. The first individual time trial of this year's tour, 25 kilometers in length, which isn't all that long, elevation gain of about 300 meters, which isn't nothing. There is a bump here, and it's kind of a drawn-out hill going up there about halfway through. But after that, it's going to be a fierce downhill. There's a little bit of wiggles going through the woods there as they come through Moret-Saint-Denis and into Gevry with a weird turn at the end. All right, moving on to stage 8, Semur-en-Auxois to Colombey. It's 183 kilometers, 2,400 meters of climbing. And I think this is going to be one of these tricky, tough stages because even though there are only 5 climbs and 2 of them are category 3 and 3 are category 4, there's just a lot of smaller bits in there, up and down and up and down. And I think either there could be a good breakaway or you're going to see some of the guys really try to make a big difference here. All right, stage 9 may be the one I'm looking forward to the most. It's around Troyes. It's 199 kilometers, and it's gravel stage, 2,000 meters of elevation gain, and no fewer than 14 different gravel sections, as you can see from the profile here. So 4 different climbs of category 4. I think the profile shown here on Relive makes it look a little worse than it is, but still 2,000 meters of climbing, and it's going to be a lot of fun with the gravel. Look for this one. All right, so Monday, July 8th is the first rest day of this year's tour, and these guys are definitely going to need it. All right, I thought that Monday was the rest day, but stage 10 from Orléans to Saint-Amand-Montrond, 187 kilometers, 950 meters of elevation gain, and from the profile, you're going to see what I mean. This is about as flat as it can be. There is not a single categorized climb in this stage. There's one intermediate sprint. So once again, look for this to be a day for the sprinters. They've had time to recover. They had the day off the day before, and I think it's going to be exciting. Okay, stage 11 is the last stage we're going to cover in this part 1. So stick around for next week for part 2. 211 kilometers on this stage, 4,350 meters of elevation gain, 1 category 1, 2 category 2s, 2 category 3s, and a category 4, adding up to one of the biggest days in the tour this year. And one of the climbs at the end is a category 1. It's the Pas de Pérol de Puy-Marie, which gets up to 1,589 meters above sea level, so basically a mile above sea level. Gonna be a real killer. So this is gonna be a really tough stage. Definitely expecting the GC contenders to really start to separate out here. So that's the end of part 1, stages 1 through 11. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And we'll see you next week with stages 12 through 21. So long now.